Plata o plomo. Plata o plomo.
The Shree Padmanabhaswamy Temple is a Hindu temple, dedicated to Vishnu, in Tiruvananthapuram, the capital of the state of Kerala, India. It is one of the 108 Divya Desams dedicated to Lord Vishnu. It is widely considered as the world's richest Hindu temple. The name of the city of Tiruvananthapuram, in Malayalam and Tamil translates to, the city of Ananta, Ananta being a form of Vishnu. The temple is built in an intricate fusion of the Kerala style and the Dravidian style of architecture, featuring high walls, and a 16th-century gopura, while as per some traditions the Ananthapura temple in Kumbla in Kasaragod district in Kerala is considered as the original spiritual seat of the deity, Mulasthanam. Architecturally to some extent, the temple is a replica of the Adiksava Perumal temple in Thiruvattar in Kanyakumari district in Tamil Nadu. The principal deity is Padmanabhaswamy, Vishnu, who is enshrined in the Anantha Shayana posture, the eternal yogic sleep on the infinite serpent Adi Shisha. Padmanabhaswamy is the tutelary deity of the Travancore royal family. The titular Maharaja of Travancore, Mulla Thirunal Ramavarma, is the current trustee of the temple. History. Several extant Hindu texts including the Vishnu Purana, Brahma Purana, Matsya Purana, Varha Purana, Skanda Purana, Padma Purana, Vayu Purana and Bhagavata Purana mention the Padmanabhaswamy temple. The temple has been referred to in the only recorded Sangam period literature several times. Many conventional historians and scholars are of the opinion that one of the names that the temple had, the Golden Temple, was in cognizance of the temple being already unimaginably wealthy by that point, early Sangam period. Many extant pieces of Sangam Tamil literature and poetry as well as later works of the 9th century of Tamil poet saints like Namalwar refer to the temple and the city as having walls of pure gold. Both the temple and the entire city are often eulogized as being made of gold, and the temple as heaven. The temple is one of the 108 principal Divya Desams, holy abodes, in Vaishnavism according to existing Tamil hymns from the 7th and 8th century CE and is glorified in the Divya Prabandha. The Divya Prabandha glorifies this shrine as being among the 13 Divya Desam in Malay Nadu, corresponding to present-day Kerala with Kanyakumari district. The 8th century Tamil poet Alvar Nammalvar sang the glories of Padmanabha. It is believed that Parasurama purified and venerated the idol of Shree Padmanabhaswamy in Dvapara Yuga. Parasurama entrusted Kshetra Karyam, administration of the temple, with 7 Pai families, Kopakara Pai, Vanchiyar Athiyara Pai, Kolur Athiyara Pai, Muttavila Pai, Karuva Pai, Nathasari Pai and Srikarayathu Pai. King Aditya Vikrama of Vanchi, Venad, was directed by Parasurama to do Parapalanam, protection, of the temple. Parasurama gave the tantrum of the temple to Tharunanalar Nambuthirapad. This legend is narrated in detail in the Kerala Mahathmyam which forms part of the Brahmanda Puranam. Another version regarding the consecration of the principal idol of the temple relates to the legendary sage Vilvamangalathu Swamiyar. Swamiyar, who resided near Ananthapuram temple in Kasaragod district, prayed to Vishnu for his darshan or auspicious sight. The deity is believed to have come in the guise of a little boy who was mischievous. The boy defiled the idol which was kept for puja. The sage became enraged at this and chased away the boy who disappeared before him. Realizing the boy was no ordinary mortal, the sage wept for forgiveness and asked for another darshan as a sign. He heard a voice say, "If you want to see me, come to the Ananthavana, the unending forest or Ananthakadu." After a long search, when he was walking on the banks of the Lakadive Sea, he heard a Pulaya lady warning her child that she would throw him in Ananthankadu. The moment the Swami heard the word Ananthankadu he was delighted. He proceeded to Ananthankadu based on the directions of the lady of whom he inquired. The sage reached Ananthankadu searching for the boy. There he saw the boy merging into an alupa tree, Indian butter tree. The tree fell down and became Anantha Sayana Murti, Vishnu reclining on the celestial snake Anantha. But the edifice that the deity assumed was of an extraordinarily large size, with his head at Thiruvattar near Thukkale, Tamil Nadu, body or Udal at Tiruvananthapuram, and lotus feet at Thrippadapuram near Kulathur and Technopark, Thripapur, making him some 8 miles in length. The sage requested the deity to shrink to a smaller proportion that would be thrice the length of his staff. Immediately the deity shrank to the form of the idol that is seen at present in the temple. But even then many alupa trees obstructed a complete vision of the deity. The sage saw the deity in 3 parts, Thiramukam, Thiravudal and Thripadam. The Swami prayed to Padmanabha to be forgiven. He offered rice kanji and upumanga, salted mango pieces, in a coconut shell to the Perumal which he obtained from the Pulaya woman. The spot where the sage had darshan of the deity belonged to Kupakara Pai and Karuva Pai. With the assistance of the reigning king and some Brahmin households a temple was constructed. The Ananthankadu Nagaraja temple still exists to the northwest of the Padmanabhaswamy temple. The Samadhi, final resting place, of the Swamiyar exists to the west of the Padmanabhaswamy temple. A Krishna temple was built over the Samadhi. This temple, known as Vilvamangalam Sri Krishna Swami Temple, belongs to Thrissur Naduval Madham. Mukilan, a Muslim marauder, invaded vast chunks of Venad in 1680 AD that he destroyed Badapuram Bhaktadesa Perumal temple owned by Nathasari Pai. Mukilan had plans to plunder the vaults of Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple and destroy it. But he was dissuaded from doing so by local Muslims loyal to the royals of Venad. Padmanabhan Thampi, arch-rival of Anazam Thirunal Marthanda Varma, marched to Tiruvananthapuram with his forces and tried to loot the vaults of the temple. Thampi stayed at Sri Varaham and sent his mercenaries to Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple. It is said that divine serpents materialized in hundreds and scared away Thampi's men. Emboldened by this heavenly intervention, Palakal Pillai and local people opposed Padmanabhan Thampi and ensured that the mercenaries did not proceed with the misadventure. Gopuram. The foundation of the present Gopuram was laid in 1566. The temple has a 100-foot, 30 m, high, 24/7-tier Gopuram built in the Pandyan style. The temple stands by the side of a tank, named Padma Tirtham, meaning the lotus spring. The temple has a corridor with 365 1/4 sculptured granite stone pillars with elaborate carvings which stands out to be an ultimate testimonial for the Vishvakarma Sthapathis in sculpting this architectural masterpiece. This corridor extends from the eastern side into the Sanctum Sanctorum. An 80-foot, 24 m, flagstaff stands in front of the main entry from the Prakaram, closed precincts of a temple. The ground floor under the Gopuram, main entrance in the eastern side, is known as the Nataka Sala, where the famous temple art Kathakali was staged in the night during the 10-day Utsavam festival, conducted twice a year, during the Malayalam months of Meenam and Thulam. Temple entry. In line with the temple entry proclamation, only those who profess the Hindu faith are permitted entry to the temple and devotees have to strictly follow the dress code. Men wear vesti with Angavastram, the South Indian version of dhoti and shawl, both plain white in color, and women wear sari. Festivals and rites. Narasimha Swami and Padmanabhaswamy after coming from Shankumagam beach during Arat festival. There are many festivals associated with this temple. The major festivals are biannual. The Aipasi festival and the Panguni festival in the Tamil month of Aipasi, October/November, and Panguni, March/April, respectively, lasts for 10 days each. On the 9th day the Maharaja of the Travancore, in his capacity as Thripapur Mupan, escorts the deities to the Vatakalam for Palavetta. Centuries back, the Palavetta procession was said to pass through Kaithamakku, Kuthravatam, Kanumparam, Pazaya Srikanswaram and Putharakandam. The festivals culminate with the Arat, holy bath, procession to the Shankumagam beach. The word Arat refers to the purificatory immersion of the deities of the temple in sea. This event takes place in the evening. The Maharaja of Travancore escorts the Arat procession on foot. The festival idols, Utsava Vigrahas, of Padmanabhaswamy, Narasimha Murti and Krishna Swami are given a ritual bath in the sea, after the prescribed pujas. After this ceremony, the idols are taken back to the temple in a procession that is lit by traditional torches, marking the conclusion of the festival. A major annual festival related to Padmanabhaswamy temple is the Navaratri festival. The idols of Sarasvati Amman, Munyuditha Nangai, Parasakti, who appeared before Sarasvati, Lakshmi, and Parvati to help them identify their husbands who had been transformed into infants by the power of chastity of Ansuya, and Kumara Swami, Murugan, are brought from the Padmanabhapuram palace, Suchindram, and Kumarakovil respectively to the Kathira Malika palace in front of Padmanabhaswamy temple as a procession. This festival lasts for 9 days. The famous Svati Sanjayathotsava music festival is held every year during this festival in the Navratri Mandapam and in some other surrounding temples. The festival was named in honor of the Maharaja of Travancore, Svati Thirunal Ramavarma, and is organized by his descendant in the royal family, Prince Ramavarma. Big idol of Pandava displayed during Panguni festival. The biggest festival in this temple is Laksha Deepam, which means 100,000, or 1 lakh, lamps. This festival is unique and commences once in 6 years. Prior to this festival, chanting of prayers and recitation of 3 Vedas is done for 56 days, Murajapam. On the last day, 100,000 oil lamps are lit in and around the temple premises. Vault, Nilavara, B, the Forbidden Zone. The Bhagavata Purana says that Balrama visited Falgunam, more commonly known as Tiruvananthapuram, took bath in Panchapsaras, Padmatirtham, and made a gift of 10,000 cows to holy men, though the Sannidhyam of Padmanabha has always been present in the holy land of Tiruvananthapuram, and it was a very ancient and renowned pilgrim spot even during the time of Balrama. The present-day temple for the deity came up later. The southwest part of the Chittambalam was constructed at the holy spot where Balrama is believed to have donated cows to holy men. This portion came to be known as Mahabharatakonam and covered the ground underneath which both Kollara B and Kollara A were situated. According to a popular legend, many devas and sages devoted to Balrama visited him on the banks of Padmatirtham. They requested him that they may be permitted to reside there worshipping the Lord. Balrama granted them their wish. It is believed that these devas and sages reside in Kollara B worshipping the deity. Naga devatas devoted to the deity also dwell in this Kollara, Kanjarata Yakshar, whose enchanting and ferocious forms are painted on the southwest part of the main sanctum, resides in this Kollara worshipping Narasimha. Holy objects like Sri Chakram were installed beneath this Kollara to enhance the potency of the principal deity. Ugra Narasimha of Thekadam is said to be the protector of Kollara B. There is a serpent's image on Kollara B indicating danger to anyone who opens it. A 4-day Ashtamangala Devaprasnam conducted in August 2011 declared Kollara B as Forbidden Zone. One of the oldest existing estimates regarding only Vault B, which can be considered to be at least as reliable as any other made since the discovery of the hidden treasure, or assets, of the temple in 2011, was by the Travancore royal family itself in the 1880s. When an older existing inventory and estimate were last updated. According to it, the gold and precious stones contained in Vault B, which is by far the largest and the only vault, of the reported 6, that is unopened so far, since the discovery of the treasure, was worth 12,000 Indian rupees crores in the then, 1880s, terms. Considering the subsequent inflation of the rupee and the increase in the prices of gold and precious stones since in general, the treasure in the unopened Vault B alone would be worth at least $1 trillion in July 2011 terms, without the cultural value being factored in. The price of gold in the 1880s, when the inventory and estimate were last updated, was 1.8 Indian rupees per gram. The price of gold was about $18 for an ounce in the 1880s when the dollar was 3.3 to the rupee. In fact, going by these figures, the gold in Vault B could potentially run into many more trillions of dollars even before the cultural or historical value is factored in. It is highly unlikely that Kollara B was opened after the 1880s. An article by Emily Gilchrist Hatch, a visiting Englishwoman in the 1933, recalls in her book, Travancore, a guidebook for the visitor, Oxford University Press, 1933, about an unsuccessful attempt to open one Kollara in 1908, about 25 years ago, when the state needed additional money. It was thought expedient to open these chests and use the wealth they contained. A group of people got together and attempted to enter the vaults with torches. When they found the vaults infested with cobras, they fled for their lives. In 2011, the antechamber to Kallara B was opened by the observers appointed by the Supreme Court of India. But the observers could not open Kallara B. However, Gopal Subramaniam, in his report submitted to the Supreme Court in April 2014, recommended its opening after conducting another Devaprasnam. The two Pushpanjali Swamiyars are the highest spiritual dignitaries of Padmanabhaswamy temple. The Pushpanjali Swamiyar of Naduval Madham sent letters to the chairperson of the Administrative Committee and the Executive Officer on February 8, 2016 expressing his strong opposition to the opening of Kallara B. The Pushpanjali Swamiyar of Manchira Madham led a Ratha Yatra from Kasaragod to Tiruvananthapuram.
Plata o plomo.